Hello and welcome. It's The Chat, and I am Manny. My guests on the program came from being a zoologist to become one of the finest public administrators.
Frank Nweke Jr., now known as Frank Nweke II, is an exceptional public administrator, brand strategist par excellence, former Minister of Communication and Information, and former Director General of the National Economic Summit Group NESG. Frank was born on the 18th of September 1965. He attended St. Paul's Primary School, Lagos, but obtained his first school leaving certificate from Shehu Garbai Primary School, Maiduguri in 1977. In 1989, Frank bagged a Bachelor of Technology degree in zoology from the Federal University of Technology, Yola, and later a Master of Public Administration, which he obtained from the University of Maiduguri in 1995. He also has to his compliments 2 master's degrees in Public Policy and Administration and Public Administration from Harvard University, John F. Kennedy School of Government, Cambridge, USA. Frank is a proven administrator with over 17 years' experience in leadership in senior management roles at both the state and federal levels, and also had made giant strides in the private and public sectors in Nigeria. His penchant for excellence endeared him to the then governor of Enugu State, Dr. Chimaroke Nnamani, who appointed him as his chief of staff. This opportunity further led to his being appointed a Federal Minister of Information and Communication in 2003 by then-President Olusegun Obasanjo, making him one of the youngest ministers in his time to serve in Nigeria's federal cabinet. Frank was later appointed Director General of Nigerian Economic Summit Group (NESG) in February 2009. To his credit, he transformed the NESG into a world-class think tank group by fostering linkages and partnerships with the World Economic Forum. He also completed the establishment of FM radio stations in all 36 states in Nigeria to improve citizens' access to information, amongst others. Frank is presently the founding director of Brass Petrochemical and Fertilizer Company and chairman, Stellar Constellation Group, Lagos, Nigeria. Frank is married and blessed with children.
Welcome to the program, Frank Nweke. In most circles that I go to, whenever your name comes up for mention, the best way to describe you is, oh, that young man, very witty, quick-witted, intelligent. Your background, as I said earlier, coming from a zoology background, it's like leaving the animal farm to come into public space. And you have become perhaps one of the finest public administrators today. At such a very short period of time.
Well, Manny, I don't know how you drew those conclusions about the best or not the best, but I want to say that one had the privilege of excellent tutelage under someone like Dr. Chimaroke Nnamani, who first of all appointed me in 1999 as consultant to government on economic affairs, and then graciously nominated me to the federal cabinet in 2003.
So you owe all of this to Chimaroke Nnamani?
Absolutely. Whatever skills you may have, whatever talents you may have, unless you have opportunity to express those talents, to show those skills, then you don't have anything, right? So yes, you're correct that I owe my political career, the training I received, the offices I have occupied.
What about your meeting with Obasanjo when you got into the cabinet? What are the sort of things he said to you?
I mean, President Obasanjo was. I remember when Dr. Nnamani first told me that he had nominated me to the federal cabinet. Taking me to see President Obasanjo that time, he said, "Listen, this is one of the best. This is my donation. This is from me to Nigeria. This is as good as they come." He went on and on, and President Obasanjo would just look at him, big mouth. "Oh, please, where's your CV?"
Do you consider yourself lucky, to have been away while the social media invaded the Nigerian, space?
I consider myself unlucky, actually.
Unlucky?
Absolutely unlucky.
Why?
Unlucky because,
Do you think you would have been able to deal with this invasion?
Listen, I believe that Nigerians can be engaged in a responsible manner, in a way that will elicit confidence, right, from them in government, and that in a way that will cement trust between the citizens and government. But when you hear certain kinds of statements coming out from certain quarters, even as people who have had the privilege of high office, you begin to wonder. Then even as a citizen, you begin to ask yourself, couldn't we do better than this? Couldn't we do better? Those kinds of circumstances undermine public confidence and give room for speculation and even rebellion. So social media has its disadvantages. I agree with you. But you know what? I believe that it can be harnessed. So for me, the citizen activism that is emerging can be harnessed for good. If you don't like what you're hearing, if you don't want to hear criticism, then maybe you should try harder to do the right things. Try harder to do the right things. It's only a mad person, or the person must be patently responsible. It's only an iconoclast, an image breaker, that will see something that is clearly true, something that is right, something that is in the public interest, and simply try to undermine that fact or that truth just so that you are a critic.
How did you manage the information business that time, when the president at that time was looking at a third term in office?
As members of President Obasanjo's cabinet in his second term, to the best of my knowledge, the meetings which I had personally attended, at no point in time did President Obasanjo suggest that he wanted a third term. If he wanted it, he did not tell us. And indeed, for the records...
Did you get a hint of
Hang on. Indeed, for the records, on one occasion, a member of the federal cabinet, actually, in a council meeting, under any other business, raised the question pointedly. And President Obasanjo clearly stated that he had no interest in going for a third term. He went ahead to say, listen, that as military head of state, when he came under severe pressure from some of his military colleagues to actually abort General Murtala Mohammed's transition, or promised transition, he resisted it when all they needed to do was make a pronouncement, and that he thought that it was unfair under a democracy with a constitution that had stipulated term limits to suggest that he was plotting to succeed himself a third term. So for someone like me as chief spokesperson of government, the president was very clear around this.